Ustadz, ngopi Ustadz. Mantap.
Tes. Karena backgroundnya apa? Nggak nempel tembok, jadinya begitu bah ininya gambarnya. Tes. Suara bagus. Host.
Assalamualaikum.
Suara masuk, suara Pak Marwan masuk.
Bagus, oke.
Bagus.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Assalamualaikum Pak.
Bagus.
Mohon maaf. Backgroundnya di nonaktifkan karena kurang maksimal gambarnya.
Ya nggak apa-apa Pak Marwan, siap.
Terima kasih.
Pak Hafid. Halo.
Siap, Bunda.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Pak Hafid,
Iya,
bisa dengar suara Ibu enggak?
bisa Bun.
Halo.
Iya Bunda,
Pak
sudah.
Hafid.
Iya Bunda, sudah bisa kok.
Halo Pak Hafid.
Iya Bunda.
Udah berapa ya pesertanya?
Sudah 126 Bunda yang hadir.
Udah
Masih.
lumayan banyak ya.
Oh iya. Assalamualaikum Pak Evi. Assalamualaikum Bu Ulan, bisa diaktifkan videonya dan
Iya, siap
audio.
Pak Hafid.
Miss Sadah bisa diaktifkan. Assalamualaikum Miss Sadah.
Coba.
Assalamualaikum Miss Sadah. Assalamualaikum Bu Dekan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Selamat datang. Miss Sadah. Miss Sadah. Assalamualaikum Miss Sadah. Start to bed.
Ya, siap.
Cek.
Kedengeran, Pak Hafid? Pak Hafid,
Ya,
jelas?
kedengeran.
Suara jelas?
Sudah. Miss Sadah. Bisa dengar suara saya? Miss Sadah.
Cek.
Oke, Miss Sadah. Standby. Bu Ulan, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam Pak Hafid.
Oke, bentar. Sebentar lagi acara akan segera dimulai. Oke, sebentar lagi acara akan segera dimulai. Bulan, siap ya? Pak Ubed, Miss Sadah.
Siap, Pak.
Siap, siap.
Oke.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we recommend to turn off the audio, please, and don't forget to fill out the attendance list that will be sent in the middle of event, because the event will begin soon. Well, to take the advantage of the time, let's begin
Sudah
by
mulai ini.
reciting Al-Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Sudah mulai.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Suaranya nggak kedenger ya.
Respectable Director of State Islamic University, Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Mr. Professor Dr. Fauzul Iman MA, Honorable
Suaranya nggak kedenger, Pak Hafid.
Faculty of Islamic and Economic Business, Mrs. Dr. Nihayatul Mashkuroh, MSI, Honorable Vice of the Dean, Faculty of Economic and Islamic Business, Mr. Dr. Itang MAG, Mr. Dr. Budi Sudrajat MA, Mr. Dr. Evi Syarifuddin SAG MM, Honorable the all lecturer and staff of Faculty of Economic and Islamic Business, Honorable all invited speakers and all participants who has been connected from various universities from Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. First of all, let's praise to our God Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, the creator and the sustainer of universe. Peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last messenger of Allah, who who has guided the human life from the distraction into the right way of Islam. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Egi Gunawan Ahmad. It is awesome and precious chance for me to be your master of ceremony in this morning on Tuesday, 15th of September 2020, in our big event, International Web Seminar, Faculty of Economic and Islamic Business, State Islamic University, Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, with the main topic, Challenges of Post-COVID Islamic Financial Inclusion in the Southeast Asia region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before we start our agenda today, there will be reciting of the Holy Quran that will be recited by Ms. Saadah MPD. Ms. Saadah MPD, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Man jaa'a bil hasanati falahu asyru amsalihha wa man jaa'a bis sayyi'ati fala yujza illa mislaha wa hum la yuzlamun. Qul innani hadani rabbi ila siratim mustaqim. Dinam qiyamam millata Ibrahim hanifan wa ma kana minal musyrikin. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين صدق الله العظيم. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Sada, for reciting of Holy Quran. May Allah bless the agenda until the end. Turning to the next agenda, to express our gratitude to Almighty God, I would like to invite Mr. Ubaidillah MPD to lead our prayer. Mr. Ubaidillah MPD, the time is yours.
Waradiyallahu ta'ala. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya dal jalali wal ikram. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin fil awwalin wal akhirin. Wa barik wa sallim wa radiyallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala an sadatina ashabi sayyidina Rasulillahi ajma'in. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidayna warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una. Allahumma arham jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma wa ruju'ana ruju'an ma'muna. Allahumma inna na'udzubika min 'ilmin la yanfa'u wa qalbin la yakhsha'u wa 'amalin la yarfa'u wa du'a'in la yusma'u. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub 'alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa shalli wa sallim ala jami'il anbiya'i wal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Ubaidillah MPD, to lead our prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the high time for us to listen the welcoming speech from Director of State Islamic University, Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Mr. Professor Dr. Fauzul Iman MA. Please, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jelas ya?
Jelas, Prof.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'd. Qala Allah Ta'ala fi kitabil karim. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yarfa'illahu alladhina amanu minkum walladhina utul ilma darajah. Honorable all participants who has attended this seminar, for all let us praise to Allah who has given blessing so we can standing here to follow the seminar or web international, and also thank especially to Dean of FEBI or Islamic Business who have initiated to implement of webinar of web seminar. So in this opportunity, we have very glad to meet in this occasion, prestigious occasion. And also thank of the all participants and all lecturer of FEBI and administration staff who has initiated to release web seminar in this opportunity. For us, this seminar is very important to higher of horizon of scientific and other, especially but the financial inclusion, yeah, in the Southeast Asia region. Okay, and would you give opportunity to read of writing tag, because we have prepared to read of tag writing as the speech in this occasion. Honorable Speaker, Dr. Haji Niayatul Mashkurah, MSc from FEBI, UIN Banten, Indonesia, and Dr. Siti Hadijah binti Abdul Manan from ITS YTM Malaysia, and Dr. Ahmad Zikrullah B. Muhammad Sahrani from FE UPIC World 3 from MSc Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. They are all invited guest attendees of the webinar who cannot be mentioned one by one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nowadays, our condition is different from the global financial crisis in 2008 and the Asian monetary crisis in 1998. Our condition today is based on humanitarian aspect due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which then affects the economics, business, and financial sector globally, including in Indonesia and other countries in Southeast Asia. We have to overcome from this COVID-19 pandemic as soon as possible in order to minimize the impact on the economic, business, and financial sectors. This is challenge for all elements in this governance of country. Moreover, every citizen has the right to develop their economy and business. Every citizen also entitled to access the good quality services in the financial services industry. This is what we call it the financial inclusion. Financial inclusion also used to measure the level of the national economy. Despite from the reality in Indonesia, the freedom citizen in accessing the financial services is still not evenly well distributed and not maximized, so that it can be the further project for equalization financial services by the government. According to the World Bank, increasing financial inclusion by 1% is the same as promoting economic growth by 0.03%. There are many benefits and advantages from financial inclusion services. Increasing financial inclusion also expected to have a positive impact on the country, such supporting financial system stability, which influenced on Indonesia's economic growth, increasing the economic efficiency and reducing economic distortion in the process of producing goods and services in the society. Reducing shadow banking or irresponsible finance in the financial activities in society, supporting the expansion of financial markets in the financial process and activities, contributing to the new market potential for the banking industry, improving Indonesian Human Development Index with the fact that the country's progress, contributing positively to local and national economic growth in a sustainable and stable manner, reducing inequality and low income rigidity so that it can affect the welfare of the society. However, the main problem found in this time as inequality of inclusive financial services in Indonesia, especially with the exposure to the COVID-19 to brings more difficulties for several persons in their business activities, and also the penetration of financial services in Indonesia, especially banking services, still considered of Indonesia population. To conclude my speech, there are several problems must be solved according to inclusive financial during and post-COVID-19. The first is access to the financial services or products that cannot adapt to the need of the community. Therefore, in this international webinar, the speakers will discuss the problems, types, and how the solution can be applied, surviving and restoring the economic, business, and also the financial sector. Thank you very much for your attention. Good luck. Faculty Business Islamic University, Islam State Islamic University, SMH Banten, in collaboration with CIS, UITM Malaysia, FPI, UPSI Malaysia, NFC Chulalongkorn University Thailand. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Let us begin. The next.
What enlightening speech from our rector. Thank you for the speech, sir. And now let's continue to the main agenda. And for lead the seminar, I would like to invite Honorable Moderator, Mrs. Soliah Wulandari, MSc, lecturer from State Islamic University Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Faculty of Economics and Islamic Business. He took the bachelor degree at State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta, and became the best graduate Bachelor of Economy year 2007. And she took the master degree at Gajah Mada University and became the best graduate of Master of Science in Accounting year 2011. But before we go to the main agenda, please accept all my mistakes while I presenting this event. It is my pleasure to be your master of ceremony in this event. Hopefully this event will run as well until the end. Last from me, let's close by reciting Alhamdulillah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Mrs. Soliah Wulandari, MSc, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Egy Gunawan. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to International Webinar, Faculty of Islamic Business and Economics, UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten 2020. In this event, we have more than 200 participants, both from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Thanks for joining. Dear all participants, don't forget to fill out the attendance link that we will share in the chat room. Okay. Before we start the presentation, please turn off your microphone. Thanks for your attention. Today's meeting, we will discuss about challenges of post-COVID Islamic financial inclusion in the Southeast Asia region. My name is Wulan. I'm a lecturer, Faculty of Islamic Business and Economics, UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Indonesia. It is my honor to be your moderator today. First of all, I would like to thank all the speakers of the 3 representative countries in the Southeast Asia who are attending in this event: Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, moving right along, let me introduce you our special guest speakers. First, Dr. Siti Hadijah from UITM Malaysia, Faculty Academic of Contemporary Islamic Studies, PhD qualification in 2010. Her publication for 2019, the first reason for persistent poverty among Asnaf in Selangor, in Journal of Fatwa Management and Research, Risk Management of Revert Mu'alaf, The Case of Lembaga Zakat Selangor in CIB, Post-Marriage Division of Matrimonial Property in Malaysian Sharia Court in Global Journal of Takofah Special Issue. And then the second speaker, Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkuroh MSI from UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Indonesia. Education, PhD in Islamic Economics, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. Master degree in Islamic Economics, UII Yogyakarta, and bachelor degree in UIN Sunan Gunung Jati, Bandung. Working position and experience at present, the Dean, Faculty of Islamic Business and Economics, UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Indonesia. Chief of the Indonesian Association of Islamic Economists for Banten region. And next, the third speaker, Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah from UPSI Malaysia. Education, PhD in Usul Al-Fiqh, University of Malaya. Master in Islamic Revealed Knowledge, International Islamic University Malaysia. Bachelor in Syariah Islamiyah Al-Azhar University. Working position and experience at present. The first, Senior Lecturer, University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Syariah Committee, United Overseas Bank, Malaysia. Syariah Committee, National Farmers Organization. And the last, Professor Dr. Serawut Ari from Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. Education, PhD and MA in West Asia Studies, Aligarh Muslim University. BA in Islamic Studies in Aligarh Muslim University. Working position and experience at present, lecturer and researcher, Institute of Asian Study, Chulalongkorn University. Director of Muslim Studies Center, Chulalongkorn University. Executive Board of Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University. Board Committee of Islamic Center of Thailand. Committee of Foreign Affairs, Saikul Islam Office of Thailand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will give 15 until 30 minutes for each speaker to deliver the presentation. After that, we will continue with discussion session. We open the question via chat. All participants can chat privately the question to Q&A account in this Zoom. Okay. And I will read and deliver to your question to the speakers. Kami akan memberikan waktu 15 sampai 30 menit untuk setiap narasumber mempresentasikan materinya. Setelah itu kita akan lanjutkan dengan sesi tanya jawab yang akan dilakukan melalui chat room. Peserta dapat mengirimkan pertanyaan melalui chat ke akun Q&A yang ada dalam aplikasi Zoom ini. Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin with the first speakers, Dr. Siti Hadijah from UITM Malaysia. She will speak about financial inclusion and post-COVID-19 challenges in Malaysia. Dr. Siti Hadijah, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To the Honorable Professor Dr. Fawzul Iman, Rector of State Islamic University Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, to the Dean of Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, UIN, the management of UIN, lecturers and students of UIN, fellow speakers, moderator, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
First and foremost, I would like to thank the university for inviting me as the speaker for this international seminar today, and I feel honored to be here among the respectable scholars and students who are always in thirst of knowledge. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right. I would like to share my screen first. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. All right, so inshallah, I'll try my best to discuss on the challenges of post-COVID Islamic financial inclusion in Malaysia. Okay, all right, because I'm the first speaker, I guess I need to explain a bit on what what financial inclusion is all about. All right, so as an introduction here, we know that record globally shows that 31% of adults are having no bank's account. And among the reason for having no bank's account is because of the limited access to finance, apart from having lack of money. And of course, this 31% is indeed a significant percentage, okay, which we call it as financial exclusion. Yeah? Earlier study by Remy Kun in 2014 stated that in 64 economies, the studies was done in 64 economies, and that study indicated that Muslims were less likely to have a formal bank's account, including accounts in Islamic banks. And another study by Zuhibri in 2016 also highlighted the same issue where many of the Muslim population, and in fact, firms, especially small firms, are still excluded in the financial institution. So what we could see here is that there is an issue of what we call as financial exclusion, okay? Where basically among the reason for this financial exclusion is because of the lack of access to financial services, particularly among the underprivileged population. Okay, and because of this, many of the government in the world had prompted to introduce what we call as the term financial inclusion. Okay, so over here we have two different terms here. One is financial exclusion, and another is financial inclusion. Okay, so what basically financial inclusion is all about? If you look at the definition given by the World Bank in 2018, financial inclusion is defined as individuals and businesses who have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs, such as transactions, payment, savings, credit, and insurance. and they are being delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. Okay, so from this definition, we could see that basically financial inclusion is about giving easier access to especially those who are underprivileged. Those who are, if you talk about people, we are talking about those who are poor, those who are residing in remote areas. If we talk about businesses, then we are talking about those small and medium enterprises, particularly the micro enterprises. Okay, so over here, the very clear message about financial inclusion is that the financial institution need to provide services to this underprivileged section of the community, right? So that basically financial inclusion is all about. Okay, and why financial inclusion is very important? Because previous studies, particularly by Zuhibri et al. 2017 and Mustafa et al. 2018, showed that financial inclusion would give a significant impact on the economic growth. Yeah, because over here, whenever we are giving easier access to especially the small and medium enterprises, so they can actually have what we call as more sources of funding for their businesses. And as we know that SMEs are among the important business entities in the economy that would contribute significantly to employment as well as the GDP of the country. Therefore, here, whenever we are giving easier access to especially the small and medium enterprises, we could in fact boost the economy in general. All right. In the context of Islamic financial institution, inclusion would mean the distribution of banking services at a reasonable cost to the massive segment of the disadvantaged and low-income earners. So the definition is just about the same as what was given by the World Bank relating to financial inclusion. Okay. All right, in the context of Malaysia, our central bank, Bank Negara Malaysia, had introduced this financial inclusion with the aim of, number one, having effective usage of financial service by all citizens. Second, convenient access to financial services. And third, enhanced quality of financial services. So these are basically among the main indicators that Bank Negara had outlined whenever we have what we call as successful financial inclusion. All right, when do our central bank introduce or promote financial inclusion? So basically, it started with the inclusion of this particular strategy, as included or articulated in the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 2009, and further reinforced with the formulation of financial inclusion framework in BNM's financial sector Blueprint 2011 to 2020. And from the FSBP Blueprint, okay, there are basically what we call as financial inclusion framework being introduced with the vision that the financial system would provide the best service to all members of the society, to the underserved, to have access to and usage of quality, affordable, essential financial services to satisfy their needs towards shared prosperity. So that basically is the vision of financial inclusion framework. And of course, there are certain desired outcomes to be achieved here from the financial inclusion. And as what had been outlined by Bank Negara Malaysia, the desired outcomes are, number one, to have what we call as convenient accessibility. Number two is to have high take-up. Number three is to have responsible usage. And number four is to have high satisfaction. Okay, so all this could be achieved, inshallah, by executing the strategies that have been outlined by Bank Negara Malaysia. There are basically 10 strategic actions that Bank Negara had outlined in order to be executed by especially the financial system in our country. Okay, and looking into the KPIs or the key performance indicators of financial inclusion in Malaysia, there are basically 4 dimension of indices, which actually is the outcome or the desired outcome that we need to achieve, and the indicators for every single desired outcome. So here we have, if you see, among the indicators, for the first dimension, which is convenient accessibility, what the financial system would like to achieve is, among others, certain percentage of mukim or sub-district, in which the population are more than 2,000, at least there would be one access point. One access point here means a point that the community or the people in that particular district to get access to financial services, such as perhaps ATM machine, CDM machine, and also perhaps branches or agent banking. So that is the KPIs or the indicators for the first dimension. And for the second dimension, the take-up rate. So over here, there are also several indicators to be achieved. The first indicators is the percentage of adult with deposit account, the percentage of adult with financing account, and the percentage of adult with life insurance or takaful policies. So that is for the second dimension. For the third dimension or the third desired outcome of responsible usage, the KPIs are percentage of customers with active deposit and also percentage of customers with performing financing account. And last but not least, on the dimension indices is satisfaction level, where over here the main KPI is for the customer to satisfy with the overall financial services. And summing up the whole percentage here for all the 4 dimensions, we will have what we call as financial inclusion index. That would measure the status of our country's financial inclusion. All right. From the report of Bank Negara, this is in fact the latest that I could get here from Bank Negara report, as at 2015 for each dimension of the financial inclusion. So for the first dimension, convenient accessibility, we could see a significant improvement here, where if you look at the sub-district with at least 2,000 population, we have about 97% achievement here, where of the, let me see, of the many districts that we have in our country, we have 144 districts altogether, and we have 886 sub-districts. So far, what we could achieve is that all the 144 districts had at least one financial access point. And we also have 97% achievement of one financial access point for the 886 sub-district. In other words, it is almost 100% existence of financial access point in all the sub-district. And about the so move on to the second, on the dimension of the take-up rate here, and we see that again, of course, there is an improvement. But if you look at the starting of the promotion of financial inclusion by Bank Negara in 2009, so in 2011, we see that 92% of the adults, yeah, are having deposit account. Yeah, and in 2015, it dropped a bit, yeah, of 1% to 91%. Okay, and as far as financing account is concerned, okay, we have in 2015 about 35%, yeah, of the population, including the business entities, yeah, to have financing account, and we have about 16%, yeah, population who have life insurance and takaful policies. And of course, here, if you look at the rate here, especially on the financing account as well as ownership of takaful policies, okay, the percentage is still quite insignificant, okay, and there are still, yeah, a lot of things to be taken, yeah, strategies to be taken in order to improve, yeah, but inshallah it will be improved, yeah. All right, and then we move on to the achievement for responsible usage, yeah. So over here, okay, basically we could consider that Malaysia, yeah, had already achieved what we call as responsible usage of the financial product. Yeah, okay. So over here in 2015, for example, okay, we have 92% of customers with active deposit account. Yeah, responsible usage here means these customers, yeah, are activing, yeah, their financial product, yeah, particularly, yeah, deposit account. Yeah, because we see that some people are letting the deposit account to be dormant, but over here, yeah, more or less 92% of the depositors are having what we call as active deposit account. And as far as financing account is concerned, 98% in 2015, yeah, of the customers, yeah, are having their financing account active. Yeah, okay. And finally, on the fourth dimension of satisfaction level, in 2015, the customers can be considered as having quite a satisfactory, yeah, feeling about the financial services provided by the financial institutions, particularly, yeah, at the rate of 73%. And of course, it can be improved further, yeah, inshallah, by especially the financial institution in the country. And over here, having all the four dimensions in place, okay, as at the end of 2015, yeah, it is recorded that the financial inclusion index score for Malaysia is 0.9 out of 1. Okay, so we can consider this as what you call as satisfactory, yeah, achievement, yeah, because we can consider of that we can be considered of having full financial inclusion. Yeah. Okay, now, well, as what we know already, yeah, right now we are still in COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, okay, starting from early 2020 and up to today. Yeah, we just don't know when it will end. Hopefully it will end soon. Okay, but as what people predict, it may not end until 1.5 years or maybe 2 years. Okay, we don't know. Okay, all right. So the COVID-19 pandemic had given a great impact, yeah, to the people, not just in a particular country, but to the countries globally. Okay, and it was reported as at September 2020, yeah, COVID-19 pandemic had infected more than 25 million people worldwide, and it has claimed almost 1 million lives. Okay, So this is in fact a great impact that become a historic incident, yeah, for us. Okay. And as far as the impact on the economy is concerned, it is predicted that we are going to have what you call as an economic crisis. Yeah. Previously, yes, we have crisis, but in 2008, for example, we were having what you call as financial crisis. Yeah. Financial crisis is not the same as economic crisis. The economic crisis would give a much greater impact to the people, yeah, especially when almost the whole world, yeah, were in lockdown. Okay, some says that the impact is as bad as the Great Depression in 1930. Okay, about 100 years back. All right, and it is estimated by IMF that about 170 countries, you are going to report negative per capita income growth. And so we can predict here that many more would become poorer and poorer. That is among the impact of COVID-19 to the world. And expert also says that it is estimated that global economies will suffer loss, yeah, between USD 5.8 to USD 8.8 trillion, yeah, which is a huge sum of money. And it is also projected that the world, yeah, especially the growth, yeah, of advanced economy, yeah, to have negative 6% growth rate in 2020. And if I would like to list the impact, yeah, of COVID-19 to the economy of every single country in the world, the list would be on and on and on, yeah, because it is indeed, yeah, as what people says, as what many says, that the impact is very significant, yeah, to all people, to all communities in the world. Okay, and these are among the other impacts, yeah, which I guess I don't need to list them all. Okay, but basically, who will be infected or affected the most? Yeah, well, to those who are already rich, yeah, or having, yeah, enough saving in their pocket, in their bank's account, they might be less impacted and less affected. Okay, but to especially, yeah, the small and medium enterprises, particularly the micro enterprises, to the poor people, yeah, who have no saving, you know, or just very small amount of saving in their pocket, okay, that would give a great impact to them. Yeah, especially when the small and medium enterprises, whenever they are badly affected, okay, they just could not sustain their business. Yeah, some have to lay off their workers, some have to close down their businesses. Okay, and this would give much greater crisis to these, yeah, businesses. Okay, now having this scenario as among the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, what would be the challenges, yeah, that especially the Islamic financial system to face? Yeah, there are of course many challenges, yeah, that will be faced, yeah, by especially the Islamic financial system, and I could manage to bring here only three of the rest of the challenges. Okay, the first is profitability versus social responsibility. Okay, as what we know, yeah, that the financial institution especially, yeah, they are aiming at getting profit. Okay, all right, and at the same time, yeah, due to COVID-19 pandemic, yeah, the economy is in crisis that had caused for inflation to rise, unemployment rate to increase. Yeah, the world going into recession, and there are many more economic hazards that occur. Okay, so over here in trying to balance between the role of the bank or the objective of the bank, yeah, to retain and to maintain profitability, as well as to consider on its social responsibility is in fact a challenging task to the financial institution. Yeah, because to the institution itself, yeah, the asset of the institution deteriorate, yeah, because of the COVID-19 impact. Yeah, the net income of the institution go down. Yeah, there is a mismatch, yeah, between the asset and the liability, yeah, due to the crisis. Yeah, there is capital erosion and rising of NPL. Okay, so these are among the things that happen to the financial institution due to COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so over here, sorry. So having to struggle in fixing up the impact here of the crisis, okay, the financial institution may have to restructure their credit portfolio, yeah, and their credit risk. Yeah, they might have to tighten their credit structure. Okay, and whenever they are tightening their credit structure or their credit portfolio, okay, who will be impacted the most? Yeah, of course, the smaller size enterprises. And because we know that for long, yeah, in fact, the previous studies had proven that, yeah, generally, financial institutions are not that willing to extend financing to small and medium enterprises, yeah, because the cost of management in extending the financing to this particular segment of the businesses is more compared to extending higher amount of financing to larger enterprises. Okay, so this become what we call as a challenge to the institution, yeah, to what we call as to continue in promoting or implementing financial inclusion. Yeah. And then the other issue here, or the other challenge that the bank face is Sharia issue, particularly to the Islamic banks. Yeah. Right. For your information, actually, in Malaysia, Bank Negara Malaysia had introduced what we call as moratorium, yeah, for businesses and individuals to ease their cash flow pains. Yeah, they are not required to pay their installments for 6 months. Yeah, starting from the lockdown, and this moratorium will end by the end of September, by the end of this month. Okay, so over here it is expected that, okay, by the end of the moratorium period, yes, even though there is a call for Bank Negara to extend, yeah, the moratorium period, okay, but of course here, when there is extending of the moratorium, it might give an ease, yeah, to the customers of bank, but it might give further challenge to the banks, yeah, because whenever, yeah, the moratorium ends, what we can expect is that the customers of bank, yeah, comprising of the individual as well as businesses, would ask for restructuring of their loan, yeah, or rescheduling of their financing. Okay, so over here, what happened is, okay, in the context of Islamic bank, okay, whenever a particular financing had been contracted at a certain selling price, yeah, okay, so we cannot actually change or modify, yeah, the selling price. So over here, whenever restructuring or rescheduling is done, yeah, bank could only extend the period, but bank could not, yeah, increase the cost of financing, yeah, or the financing as a whole. Okay, so this may become a challenge to the bank because bank might lose, yeah, from this. Yeah, and adding to the challenge here is the fact that bank were not getting any payment during moratorium, and yet bank has responsibilities to giving returns to the shareholders as well as the depositors. So this is in fact a challenge to the bank, yeah, particularly in facing the impact of COVID-19. COVID-19 pandemic. And the last thing that the bank may face as far as the challenges is concerned is that on the fintech services. Yes, COVID-19 might give blessing in disguise to us because whenever people are being locked down, okay, we can't move anywhere, we have to stay at home, okay. So this had prompted for many to open online banking, yeah, and they are purchasing online. People are starting to pay bills online, and many of the transactions are via online banking. Okay, so this had what we call as giving a boost, yeah, to the fintech services. Yeah, in other words, yeah, the online banking is increasing in terms of the application. Okay, and this may give a good signal to the bank, especially to improve the online banking services. Okay, and in fact, the low-income household and small firms can benefit greatly, yeah, from the advances in mobile money, on the fintech services, on the online banking, and it would improve further the financial inclusion. Okay, but yeah, the challenge here is, okay, the unequal access to digital infrastructure. So this is in fact the challenge. Yeah. For example, yeah, the supply of electricity, the access to mobile and internet coverage. Yeah, I'm not so sure whether you heard about the issue of internet coverage in especially our East Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. Yeah, some of the students have to climb up the trees in order for them to get internet access. Yeah, so the internet access in certain remote areas, yeah, particularly in especially Sabah and Sarawak, yeah, is not that good. Yeah, so over here, if we were to have what we call as a financial inclusion in the context of fintech or financial technology, yeah, we have to improve the access, yeah, of mobile and internet coverage to the people. Yeah, okay, apart from of course, yeah, improving the digital literacy of the people, yeah, among a certain segment of the society. Yeah, okay, yes, of course, yeah, having a fintech or financial technology is good, okay, but whenever people are still having no or very low internet coverage, so it would give a challenge to the bank especially, or to the financial system in general, to provide what you call as better and greater access of financial services to the people via financial technology. Yeah, yes, even though the financial inclusion is good for the economy, because it would actually boost the growth of the GDP, especially. But having the challenges that the bank has to face, yeah, then, well, we have to relook into what we call as the financial system as a whole, okay, and try to do our best, yeah, in trying to sustain what we call as the financial inclusion, yeah, in the country. Okay, I guess that's all from me. Sorry if I'm taking too much time for this. And with that, I end my session with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Siti Hadijah. Next, we will hear the presentation of Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Maskuro MSI from UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, Indonesia. She will speak about financial inclusion and post-COVID-19 challenges in Indonesia. Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Maskuro, the floor is yours. My apology. There is no your voice.
Thank you, Miss Fulan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa ba'du. Qala Allah Ta'ala fil Qur'anil Karim, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Before I presentation, I would like to thank to Honorable Mr. Professor Dr. Fauzul Iman MA, Rector of the Islamic State University, Sultan Mosun, Banten. I would like to thank to the speaker, Mrs. Dr. Siti Hadijah binti Abdul Manan from UITM Malaysia. Thanks for joining us. I would like to thank to Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah bin Muhammad Sarani from FPA UPSI Malaysia. And I would like to thank to Professor Dr. Sarawat Ari from MSc Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to thank to management, Faculty of Economic and Islamic Business, Islamic University, State, Sultan Mosun, Banten, and the all participants of the international webinar in Faculty of Islamic Economic and Business that I respect to all, but I can mention one by one. Now I let's to start the presentation, but I will speak in Indonesian language, not in English language, because I worried that there is mispronunciation or misunderstanding what I am about to say. Kita mulai untuk presentasi tema dengan tema challenge of post-COVID Islamic finance inclusion in Southeast Asia region. Fokus in Indonesia. Silahkan Pak ini untuk PowerPoint-nya. Berbicara tentang tantangan, peluang dan tantangan post-COVID keuangan di Indonesia, khususnya keuangan syariah, kita harus melihat terlebih dahulu bagaimana posisi keuangan syariah, keuangan di Indonesia dan regulasinya, khususnya keuangan inklusi ini. Berdasarkan peraturan pemerintah atau peraturan presiden nomor 82 tahun 2016 bahwa keuangan inklusi adalah sebuah kondisi di mana setiap anggota masyarakat mempunyai akses terhadap berbagai layanan keuangan formal yang berkualitas, tepat waktu, lancar, dan aman dengan biaya terjangkau sesuai dengan kebutuhan dan kemampuan masing-masing. Jadi keuangan syariah ini, keuangan inklusi ini adalah merupakan kebijakan dari pemerintah berdasarkan Peraturan Presiden Nomor 82 Tahun 2016 tentang layanan keuangan formal. Kita tahu bahwa kebijakan keuangan di Indonesia ini adalah diatur oleh lembaga namanya Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. Nah, Otoritas Jasa Keuangan ini fungsinya membuat kebijakan baik kebijakan lembaga perbankan maupun non-bank. Untuk kebijakan perbankan, baik bank konvensional maupun bank syariah itu diatur oleh OJK. Kemudian yang non-bank seperti pasar modal, kemudian industri asuransi, kemudian industri keuangan lainnya yang bukan bank itu diatur oleh OJK. Apakah misalnya program keuangan dari OJK ini sejalan? Tentu sejalan karena lembaga keuangan OJK ini adalah merupakan sub dari Departemen Keuangan, Kementerian Keuangan, yang Kementerian Keuangan ini kita tahu bahwa di dalamnya adalah yang merancang bagaimana program dari Kementerian Keuangan ini dari tahun 2020 sampai 2024 program-programnya. Di situ diatur bahwa tingkat keuangan dari syariah ini, ekonomi syariah ini, menduduki baik secara literasi maupun secara keuangannya itu diatur oleh OJK dari tahun 2016 itu literasi keuangan syariah secara nasional berkisar sekitar 8,1% di tahun 2016 dan mencapai ada peningkatan menjadi 8,9% pada tahun 2019 itu secara nasional. Kemudian indeks dari literasi ini secara nasional di tahun 2019 mencapai 16,2%. Sedangkan market share-nya dari 2019 16,2% itu dari sumbangan dari wakaf itu mencapai 50,48% dan dari dana zakat 66,78%. Itu kita peroleh dari sumbernya dari Komite Nasional Ekonomi Keuangan Syariah yang merupakan bagian dari sub Kementerian Ekonomi, Kementerian Keuangan, bagian Direktur Ekosistem Keuangan Syariah. Kemudian market share keuangan syariah di bulan April tahun 2020 itu mencapai 9,03% dari keuangan konvensional. Jadi hanya sedikit sekali ya per tahun April 2020. Secara ininya masih secara keseluruhannya masih dikuasai oleh keuangan konvensional, yaitu yang mencapai 91,06%. Apakah misalnya, pertanyaannya apakah misalnya sejalan keuangan syariah inklusif ini dengan kebijakan dari pemerintah Indonesia. Sebetulnya kita tahu bahwa kebijakan dari keuangan syariah inklusif ini adalah sesuai dengan maqasidus syari, yaitu melindungi agama, melindungi jiwa, kemudian melindungi nasab, melindungi akal, dan melindungi harta. Begitu juga dengan RPJM pemerintah dari tahun 2020 sampai 2024 itu adalah untuk meningkatkan misalnya peningkatan tenaga kerja, kemudian meningkatkan masyarakat yang golongan miskin, ekonomi masyarakat miskin, kemudian untuk meningkatkan, menumbuhkan ekonomi UMKM, ya. Nah, indeks literasinya itu kita tahu bahwa ini salah satu komitmen dari pemerintah di tahun 2015 itu dibuat suatu roadmap, ya, suatu roadmap di tahun 2015 itu oleh Bappenas. Bappenas itu di Indonesia itu Badan Perencana Pembangunan Nasional yang di dalamnya termasuk keuangan syariah, institusi keuangan syariah, itu dibuat master plan-nya di tahun 2015 akhir, yang di mana pengembangannya itu adalah antara lain misalnya strategi-strateginya merupakan blueprint dari pengembangan industri halal, kemudian terbentuknya kawasan usaha halal, ya, yang terintegrasi dengan perizinan, kemudian penguatan UMKM di sektor industri halal, termasuk melalui pesantren, kemudian akselerasi pembangunan keuangan syariah melalui kebijakan afirmatif, kemudian penyempurnaan produk hukum perbankan, pasar modal, dan asuransi syariah, kemudian pengembangan aset dan tata kelola wakaf, kemudian peningkatan mobilisasi dan tata kelola janda zakat, kemudian peningkatan literasi promosi dan event halal internasional, kemudian kelompok kerja harmonisasi regulasi, kemudian pengembangan sistem SDM unggul berbasis syariah, kemudian penyelesaian riset, sampai ke diharapkan di tahun 2023 itu bisa tercapai, ya, semua apa yang dirancang atau direncanakan oleh keuangan syariah, ekonomi dan keuangan syariah. Kemudian dari ekonomi dan keuangan syariah ini diketuai oleh strukturnya, diketuai oleh Presiden berdasarkan peraturan Presiden nomor 28 tahun 2020. Itu dibentuk namanya Komite Nasional Ekonomi dan Keuangan Syariah yang diketuai oleh Presiden. Kemudian wakil ketuanya adalah Wakil Presiden dan merupakan ketua harian. Kemudian disekretarisi oleh Menteri Keuangan Republik Indonesia yang mempunyai dua struktur, yaitu anggota komite dan manajemen eksekutif. Ya, antara lain anggota komitenya itu dianggotai oleh Bank Indonesia, kemudian Kementerian PPN dan Bappenas, Kementerian Perindustrian, Kementerian Pendidikan, kemudian dari MUI juga ada. Nah, itu adalah lembaga ekonomi dan keuangan syariah yang khusus membidangi literasi dan edukasi keuangan inklusif, khususnya keuangan syariah. Kemudian mempunyai tugas, KNKS ini mempunyai tugas adalah Yang pertama, dari visinya itu mempercepat, memperluas, dan memajukan pengembangan ekonomi dan keuangan syariah dalam rangka memperkuat ketahanan ekonomi nasional. Ruang lingkupnya adalah pengembangan industri produk halal, yang pertama, kemudian yang kedua, pengembangan industri keuangan syariah, kemudian yang ketiga, pengembangan dana sosial syariah, dan yang keempat, pengembangan perluasan kegiatan usaha syariah. Kemudian pengembangan industri produk halal misalnya dengan memberikan rekomendasi kebijakan dan program strategis pembangunan nasional di sektor ekonomi dan keuangan syariah. Kemudian pelaksanaan koordinasi, sinkronisasi dan sinergitas penyusunan dan pelaksanaan rencana arah kebijakan dan program strategis pada sektor ekonomi dan keuangan syariah, kemudian perumusan dan pemberian rekomendasi atas penyelesaian masalah-masalah di sektor ekonomi dan keuangan syariah, dan pemantauan serta evaluasi atas pelaksanaan arah kebijakan dan program strategis di sektor ekonomi dan keuangan syariah. Itu fungsi dari KNKS yang ada di Peraturan Presiden Nomor 28 Tahun 2020 Pasal 4. Kemudian bagaimana ekosistem ekonomi dan keuangan ini di Indonesia? Kita tahu bahwa kontribusi dari usaha kecil dan menengah itu kita bisa lihat bahwa pemasukan dari ekonomi Indonesia secara keseluruhan itu adalah dari commercial and finance, keuangan komersial seperti investor global, dana pemerintah, pasar modal syariah, perbankan syariah, asuransi, dan industri keuangan non-bank syariah, kemudian investor retail dan investor industri. Ini semua ada kontribusinya untuk masa pandemi COVID ini, semua itu terpengaruh ya, karena pandemi COVID ini mempengaruhi kesemuanya. Otomatis ekonominya menjadi stuck, ya, pertumbuhan ekonominya menjadi stuck, sehingga perlu kita untuk membuat suatu regulasi bagaimana usaha-usaha kecil ini bisa berkembang dengan baik ya di sektor UMKM, sehingga kita ingin meningkatkan di sektor UMKM ini baik dari zakat maupun dari wakaf untuk dapat membiayai sektor-sektor UMKM ini. Kemudian strategi pengembangan keuangan sosial syariah itu dari mulai tahun 2020 sampai dengan 2024 yang sudah diatur oleh KNKS adalah fokus pengembangannya kepada mewujudkan pengelolaan zakat, infak, sedekah, dan wakaf yang transformatif untuk pembangunan nasional. Itu yang pertama. Kemudian yang kedua, transformasi pengelolaan wakaf secara nasional. Yang ketiga, institusi keuangan mikro syariah yang berkelanjutan atau sustainable. Kemudian yang keempat, perluasan dan penguatan jaringan layanan keuangan syariah berbasis pesantren. Makanya sekarang ini sudah dimulai kita khususnya di Provinsi Banten, KNKS itu ada ide untuk membuat bagian dari KNKS untuk supaya di Provinsi Banten juga ada kepanjangan tangannya seperti membuat KKD, KES, ya, Komite Daerah Ekonomi Keuangan Syariah di Provinsi Banten. Lewat PUB kemarin sudah dicoba untuk kita mengadakan suatu komite daerah keuangan ekonomi syariah, karena agar program-program yang disampaikan oleh atau yang diberikan oleh KNIKS itu bisa terlaksana juga khususnya di Provinsi Banten. Karena kita tahu bahwa yang paling terdampak dari adanya pandemi COVID ini adalah masyarakat bawah, yang dimana regulasinya sudah ada, program-programnya sudah ada, tapi belum tersentuh oleh program-program dari pusat itu, sehingga diperlukan adanya lembaga daerah yang juga sama dengan lembaga nasional keuangan syariah. Kemudian kita ambil contoh misalnya untuk strateginya, strategi pengembangan bisnisnya dan kewirausahaan syariahnya, itu ada 5 yang akan dicoba dikembangkan, yaitu yang pertama program pembinaan dan peningkatan skala usaha UMK halal nasional. Seperti misalnya di Provinsi Banten, contohnya, ambil contohnya adalah misalnya usaha yang paling banyak itu adalah home industry, seperti misalnya produk-produk sate bandeng atau produk-produk kerajinan dari Baduy gitu ya, dan home industry lainnya, supaya bisa diberikan program pembinaan lewat misalnya dari program Baznas ya. Baznas itu ada program namanya
Halo. Cek.
Dan sukuk usaha syariah. Ini kita seperti misalnya pembentukan pembangunan rumah sakit di Aceh itu dengan melalui pembiayaan sukuk ya oleh keuangan syariah juga. Kemudian inkubasi eksportir produk halal dan kemitraan dengan usaha besar. Kemudian yang lainnya adalah akselerasi digitalisasi informasi dan usaha syariah. Dan yang kelima, pendirian pusat data ekonomi syariah. Kita tahu bahwa pusat data ekonomi syariah itu di Indonesia sudah ada BI, Bursa Efek Indonesia yang di bidang syariah. Kemudian strategi yang lainnya adalah peningkatan inklusi keuangan syariah UMKM dengan menyusun Direktorat Pembiayaan Syariah untuk UMKM, seperti adanya Bank Syariah, BPRS, Pegadaian Syariah, kemudian Multifinance Syariah, Modal Ventura Syariah, Fintech Syariah, BMT, PNM Syariah, Bank Wakaf Mikro, ya. Dengan sekarang ini misalnya dengan adanya pandemi COVID, kita memberikan bantuan untuk pembiayaan modal kepada UMKM yang membuat masker, ya, membuat masker untuk penanggulangan COVID. Kemudian industri hand sanitizer itu juga diberikan pembiayaannya oleh pemerintah dari segi permodalan. Kemudian kalau untuk pengembangan UMKM di Indonesia, misalnya dengan SDM dan manajemen, kemudian dengan keuangan, ya, kemudian inovasi dan teknologi, kemudian dengan pasar dan bahan baku, kemudian dengan institusi seperti misalnya perizinan usaha, standarisasi produk, ya, itu semuanya dipermudah sebagaimana diinstruksikan oleh Presiden Jokowi bahwa supaya di dalam perizinan itu tidak berbelit-belit, ya, untuk pengusaha pelaku UMKM dalam izin usahanya itu tidak berbelit-belit, dan supaya dipercepat ininya jaraknya, ya, tidak berbelit-belit di dalam membuat perizinan. Kemudian dibuat pemetaan UMKM di sektor industri halal, kemudian dibuat misalnya strategi peningkatan inklusi keuangan UMKM lewat Islamic Digital Finance, kemudian dibuat peningkatan untuk kolaborasi, ya, layanan keuangan syariah untuk di tingkat pesantren. Banyak sekarang itu dibuat BMT di tingkat pesantren dengan memberikan modal usaha, ya, unit usaha layanan keuangan syariah pesantren, baik secara individu, keluarga, UMKM maupun masyarakat luas, ya. Kemudian kalau untuk strategi literasinya, kita memberikan edukasi dan sosialisasi baik di pesantren-pesantren, masyarakat maupun di akademisi-akademisi. Untuk dari Kementerian Perdagangan dan Koperasi itu ada 8 program untuk dampak COVID ini pada UMKM, yaitu program untuk mengajukan stimulus daya beli pada produk UMKM dan koperasi, itu sudah diberikan, sementara disetujui anggarannya 2 triliun. Kemudian yang kedua, program belanja di warung tetangga. Jadi ada program, karena memang sekarang ini ada program bahwa supaya kita belanja di produk sendiri atau produk UMKM, karena memang kalau masa COVID ini tidak boleh kita misalnya beli keluar untuk belanja makanan atau kebutuhan lainnya, sehingga ada program bahwa belanja di warung tetangga saja. Kemudian yang ketiga, program restrukturisasi dan subsidi suku bunga kredit usaha mikro. Saat ini masih dibahas di Kementerian Keuangan. Kemudian yang keempat, ada program restrukturisasi kredit khusus baik koperasi melalui LPDP KUMKM. Kemudian yang kelima, mendorong penyediaan masker untuk semua, mulai program gerakan penggunaan masker kain buat siapa saja. Ini masker kain ini produk home industry yang dikelola oleh UMKM di berbagai daerah. Kemudian yang keenam, berupaya memasukkan sektor mikro dalam klaster penerimaan kartu prakerja untuk kerja harian. Dan yang ketujuh, mengupayakan bantuan langsung tunai, ada BLT dari Presiden. Kemudian yang kedelapan, mengusulkan PPh 21, pajak penghasilan impor, PPh 25, dan restitusi pertambahan nilai bisa direlaksasi untuk UMKM. Itu program-program dari pemerintah, khususnya Kementerian Perdagangan dan Industri. Yang dihadapi oleh pelaku UMKM adalah dari segi permodalan, dari segi pemasaran, kemudian dari segi literasinya ya, literasi dan layanannya, membuat jejaring layanan. Karena kita tahu banyak sektor-sektor UMKM ini yang karena pandemi menjadi tutup ya, hanya yang kuat permodalannya saja yang bisa bisa tetap eksis ya pada masa COVID ini. Sehingga kita bisa melihat penurunan penjualan sektor UMKM COVID adalah menurun sekitar kurang lebih 60% ya. Itu datanya dari data UMKM. Kemudian sehingga UMKM ini perlu kita berikan imun ya dari krisis COVID ini. Itu dari pemerintah itu sudah diluncurkan dana sekitar 123,5 triliun untuk UMKM ya. Baik di berbagai sektor karena penurunan dari penjualan maupun dari pasokan bahan baku ini. Kemudian dari segi bukan dari segi pemerintah saja untuk menanggulangi menanggulangi UMKM dari pandemi COVID ini, dari sektor inklusi keuangan lainnya pun, baik dari zakat maupun dari wakaf, itu memberikan kontribusi untuk UMKM bagi pemulihan UMKM yaitu dengan memberikan antara lain BMD ya. BMD itu namanya Basnas Microfinance Desa. Jadi diberikan permodalan oleh Basnas. Hanya kalau dari Basnas ini masih belum menyentuh ke daerah-daerah lain, masih terpusat di Jakarta dan wilayah sekitarnya, yaitu di Bogor ya, baru menyentuh di daerah situ. Sedangkan untuk daerah-daerah lainnya belum tersentuh ya. Di mana program dari Basnas ini sama dengan program KNIKS, yaitu untuk melindungi agama, melindungi jiwa, melindungi mal, dan melindungi akal, serta melindungi keturunan. Jenis usaha yang diberikan banyak, antara lain usaha jasa, industri kreatif, dan yang paling banyak adalah dari perdagangan jenis usahanya yang diberikan bantuan oleh Basnas. Demikian pula dari wakaf ya. Dari wakaf itu kita tahu ada 5 ya program dari wakaf itu, yaitu sosialisasi, kemudian kreativitas, kemudian konversi, kompeten, dan komplain. Kalau misalnya untuk sosialisasi, misalnya ada wakaf trainer, ada program wakaf trainer memberikan sosialisasi lewat misalnya website, kemudian Facebook, kemudian YouTube ya. Maksudnya adalah untuk memberikan edukasi kepada generasi muda untuk dapat mengetahui perkembangan wakaf seperti apa. Kemudian lewat seminar-seminar untuk akademisi dan lewat konferensi-konferensi. Itu yang program campaign. Kemudian program yang keduanya dari wakaf itu adalah create itu misalnya ada wakafpreneur, kemudian ada inovasi dan collect big data, serta dari kita ada cash wakaf atau ada program dari kreativitas ini adalah adanya cash wakaf. Kemudian ada pelatihan untuk sertifikat nazir, kemudian ada pengembangan untuk mauquf maupun mauquf alaih, ya. Kemudian yang ketiga adalah konversi, itu dari misalnya mengkonversi dari aset-aset wakaf yang tidak produktif menjadi wakaf yang produktif. Kemudian yang keempat adalah memberikan pengetahuan, pelatihan-pelatihan kepada pelatihan tentang wakaf, baik dari segi hukum syariatnya, dari segi keuangannya, maksudnya pengelolaan dari wakaf ini, bagaimana, karena kita tahu bahwa wakaf itu di Indonesia, khususnya di Provinsi Banten itu ya, wakaf itu sebetulnya dana-dana wakaf itu banyak, tapi masih dikelola secara keluarga ya, tidak di secara kelembagaan ya. Masih di tangan masing-masing keluarga, jadi hanya dikembangkan oleh keluarganya saja, tidak dikembangkan ke yang lain ya, tidak dikelola dengan secara profesional. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah reporting, jadi pelaporan. Kemudian dari wakaf ini satu lagi adalah regulasinya ya, strateginya, misalnya dengan memberikan konsultasi tentang wakaf, kemudian memberikan sertifikasi kenadiran ya, dan lain-lainnya. Itu kira-kira yang bisa saya sampaikan untuk keuangan, tantangan keuangan inklusi di Indonesia, khususnya keuangan syariah. Ya. Demikian kurang lebihnya, saya mohon maaf. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkuroh MSI, for your speech. And now I would like to invite Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah from UPSI Malaysia. He will speak about Islamic financial inclusion, COVID-19, and its challenges on Islamic financial inclusion, the effect of COVID-19 on companies and business firms, and post-COVID-19 Islamic financial inclusion instrument. Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah, if you are ready, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Madam Soliah Wulandri, Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Fauzul Iman, Director of UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten, and also the respected speakers, Dr. Siti Khadijah binti Abdul Manan from Malaysia, Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkurah from Indonesia, and also Dr. Sarawut Ari from Thailand. All participants, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can everybody listen to my presentation? Okay, first of all, I would like to thank UIN SMH Banten for inviting me to share some of my view, insight on the topic, and also for the UPSI for selecting me as a speaker for this program. Then inshallah, my topics will focus on the impact and also the opportunity from the COVID in financial inclusion. Okay, before I start, I just want to know how to present my slide. Share screen. Okay, can everybody see my slide?
Yes, yes, sir.
Challenge of post-COVID Islamic financial inclusion in the Southeast Asia region, impact and opportunity. Okay, inshallah, my presentation will be focused on the impact and also the opportunities. And Alhamdulillah, will it tend to Dr. Siti Khadijah, since she already explained about the challenge of Islamic financial inclusion in Malaysia. So Alhamdulillah, my focus to complement it in the context of Malaysia, where I will focus on the impact and also the opportunities in financial inclusion. Okay, before we begin, we might look on the basic things about the financial inclusion, which is the definition of financial inclusion. Okay, this is the definition by the World Bank, where individual and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that can meet their need, such as transaction, payment, saving, credit, and insurance, where it's been delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. Okay, so what we can understand from the definition that the focus of the financial exclusion is access at a reasonable cost for all households to a full range of financial services, including saving or deposit services, payment and transfer services, credit and insurance. Okay, that is the first goal of financial inclusion as set by United Nations. If you look at the current banking system, banking framework in terms of cost, because when banks want to give financing to a customer, we look at the risk of the customer and also they look at the cost. So for some clients, they might not be able to get financing simply because they don't have all the thing that bank needs to process the financing. So basically, there are type of customer that then don't have the financial capacity, don't have the capacity to pay the loan or to pay the debt. So they are out of the banking system. So with the financial exclusion, where the lender or the financier can give the financing at a reasonable cost and affordable to the borrower, or in the context of Islamic finance, to the customer. And also the second one is the sound and safe institution governed by the clear regulation and industry performance standards. Okay, the second one is if we want to talk about the financial exclusion. So the financial exclusion must have sound and safe institution. You cannot simply have the institution that can give financing to the some customer, which is unaffordable customer, poor customer. Just simply like that. So you must have the safe institution, and also you must have the regulation there that can handle the situation, that can give safe and comfort to everybody. So this is the second goal of the financial inclusion. The third one is must have financial and institutional sustainability to ensure continuity and certainty of investment. Okay, there must be a rule, there must be a regulation to safeguard everybody's interest, be it financial or be it customer. And also competition. This is also one of the goals where in financial you cannot simply have the only institution that give financing to everybody. There is must have the competition, because when we have the competition, so the customer have a choice. And also the customer can choose which of the institution that can suit with its capacity. If there is the only one company or one institution that offer, then we know the financial inclusion cannot be achieved. So financial inclusion must be have competition to every customer to choose which suit with their need and suit with their capacity to pay and everything. Okay, the importance of financial inclusion. Okay, as explained by the speakers, Dr. Khadijah mentioned about the importance of the financial inclusion. Okay, one of the important of financial inclusion where if financial inclusion good in terms of the rate, then is linked to the stronger and more sustainable economic growth and development. So what we can summarize on the importance of Islamic finance is important of financial inclusion, where if you have the good rate of financial inclusion in your financial system, inshallah, your economy will become stronger and more sustainable growth compared to the financial exclusion, where if the financial inclusion is very low, you know that the economy not strong enough, not sustainable enough to move forward. Okay, the form of financial inclusion. Okay, we have basically four form of financial inclusion. The first one is non-user of formal financial services. Okay, the first one is basically why they not involved in the financial, because they feel that they not need the financial system. Either they have enough fund, or either they say there is no need for them for financial services. Okay, so this is some barrier that block people to go to financial inclusion. Okay, Islamic view on financial exclusion. Okay, now we move to the Islamic view on financial exclusion. Okay, what is the Islamic view on exclusion? What is the position of financial exclusion in Islamic finance? Okay, if you look at some verses in Al-Quran, say for example, the verses of from Surah Al-Hashr, verse 7, where Allah mentioned, كَيْ لَا يَكُونُ دُولَةً بَيْنَ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ مِنْكُمْ, in order that it might not become a fortunate used by the rich among you. Okay, if you look at this verse, it's a very powerful statement, very powerful word from Allah, where Allah said, even though the ayats specifically mentioned about the fire, where the fire, Allah give the file to some recipient. So why Allah give this file to some recipient? Basically that in order that it may not become unfortunate, used by the rich people among you. So to ensure that the circulation of wealth, so we divide this file into some component of the society. So back to the Islamic finance. So Islamic finance must have the same principle, where in terms of wealth circulation, wealth must be circulated to all component of the society, include the person that don't have the access to the current banking system. So you cannot simply have Islamic finance, but you neglect the poor people. So because Islamic finance is the system that cater all society, all segment of the society, be it rich people. So there is some regulation for the rich people according to Sharia. So also some regulations, law related to poor people. Okay, so that's the first verse mentioned about the importance of financial inclusion. Okay, the second one is about the concept of helping each other. That's why when we talk is about Islamic finance. Islamic finance talking about the mutual assistance in doing good thing. So if we relate it to the financial exclusion, we know that if some of our society, some of our people poor, don't have access to the banking system because of his condition, we must help them. Okay, that's basic principle of Islam. You cannot have the system that only for rich people. If you have the system for only rich people, where the poor people is prevented from to access for the system, so we can have some we can look back. Is that the Islamic financial system according to Islam, or is that thing that we have to do to make our current financial system is really aligned with the system as asked by Allah? Okay. Also, if you look at the encouragement of charitable contracts such as wakaf, sedekah, wasiat, and also zakat, we know that wakaf, say for example, and also the second speakers mentioned a lot about the wakaf. We know wakaf can help much on the topic of financial inclusion, where if you have enough fund to develop wakaf asset, so this wakaf asset can generate income. Say for example, in the context of Malaysia, we have the good example of wakaf is Bank Islam. Okay, Bank Islam, the building of Bank Islam is built on the wakaf land, and Bank Islam pay rental to the wakaf. Okay, the income from this rental can be distributed to the poor and needy. Okay, also like a sedekah. And also Bank Islam also have a sedekah house. So using this wakaf, sedekah, also wasiat or zakat can help people, and it can be considered as financial inclusion, especially when we talk about wakaf, wasiat, payment of zakat. The focus of the payment is to the poor and needy, or the person that basically don't have access to financial services because of his condition. Also, if you look at the risk sharing contract like partnership contract, mudarabah, musyarakah, and wakalah, we know that this contract promote risk sharing element compared to the current banking system. Banking system is not basically not based on the risk sharing. It's basically on the base relationship between the lender and borrower, or in the context Islamic finance, is between bank and customer. So for the debt financing, it costs more to the customer. So it's can only be the financing based on mudarabah or wakalah can only be given to the selected person, to the selected customer. But if we can promote more on the sharing contract, mudarabah, musyarakah, and wakalah to the poor, to the needy, and they not need to think much about the debt because the relationship between them and the funder is mudarabah, musyarakah, and can help much to improve their condition. So this akad, mudarabah, musyarakah, wakalah akad, can somehow, because it is very encouraged in Islam, it can somehow help people to be part of the system, and that is what we discuss now. Is financial inclusion. So there is Islamic view on the financial inclusion. So what we can summarize from the Islamic view, that the financial inclusion is the DNA of Islamic finance. You cannot have the Islamic finance only to serve the rich people. You must have the Islamic finance that can serve everybody, be it rich people or be it poor people, the unfortunate segment of the society. And believe me, if we only have the financial system that serve the rich people, I'm afraid that the bless of Allah not with us. Okay, that is Islamic view on financial exclusion. We already discussed about the form of financial exclusion, the importance of financial exclusion, or what is Islamic view on financial exclusion. And if you want to know more about the financial exclusion, the setup of Islamic financial exclusion, we refer to the good paper, in my opinion, the financial exclusion, Islamic finance perspective, written by great scholars Abbas Mirakor, Iqbal, and Zamir. Okay, so now comes COVID. Before the pandemic struck us last year, the financial exclusion start to take its step, where Bank Negara and also Security Commission start to promote financial exclusion, because we know that when we have the good financial exclusion, we know more people have access in the financial system. We can have a stronger economy and sustainable economic growth. So come COVID-19. So COVID-19 bring lot of impacted on our daily life, and also impacted on huge impact on our financial system, on our economy, as explained by speakers. So we look at the economic impact, financial impact of COVID to the market. Some of impact is a good impact, some impact is a bad impact to the market and also to our economy. So let's talk about the impact of COVID-19 on Malaysia Islamic finance market. First, we look at the banking system. So basically, if you look at the banking system were most impacted by this pandemic. Why? Because simply when the bank give debt or financing to the customer, and because of the COVID, the business is, we look at the early stage of the COVID in early May, the business is totally stopped. So the customer, the client don't have money to pay. So bank with the initiative of Bank Negara Malaysia and also the government of Malaysia, and also many of the government central bank in the Southeast Asia give loan moratorium or financing in context of Islamic finance, financing moratorium. Okay, moratorium is good for the customer because in the period of 6 months until this October, they have payment holiday, what we call it payment holiday. 6 months, they not need to pay anything to the bank. They loan, the financing, home financing, the personal financing, the car financing, and many other financing. They are be given this moratorium. So moratorium for the customer is very good assistance from the government, also from bank. But for the bank itself, bank suffer. We can imagine in the 6 months that we don't have any payment salary. We can imagine, can we survive within the 6 months without payment for our services? We don't receive our salary. This is very and also tough situation. Also for the bank, bank need to get the fund somewhere else. They need to go to interbank money market. They need to go to their shareholders and others to get a fund to cushion the impact of this 6 months moratorium. So that's why the banking sector, as I put in my slide, the banking sector is suffering 1 billion losses per month. And by the time moratorium period end in September, the bank will suffer a loss of 6.4 billion collectively, equivalent to the reduction of bank capacity to provide new loan to the financier. And also, after this September, there's a new type of moratorium, we can say. The first round of moratorium until this September is for everybody. But this coming moratorium start from October is only to the selected person, where the bank will only give the moratorium to the customer, the selected customer, where his income or his salary is only half. He receive only half compared to the before COVID, or don't have any income at all. Okay, so this is further we put pressure to the bank's capacity. So the impacts for the bank is quite severe. But interestingly, we look at the bank system. Some of the segment of the banking system is perform well. Say, for example, for the part of deposit side. If you look the financing side, yes, we agree that bank will not receive the payment from the customer within the 6 months. But in terms of deposit, bank receive in terms of the fund, bank will receive money deposited in the bank and increase in the money deposited in the bank. But for me, when I look the more money deposited in the bank, it put more pressure to the bank. Simply because when somebody come to the bank, put money to the bank have to think how to give profit to the depositor. With the no money come in because of the moratorium and new money that expect give return, so bank in the further difficulty because of moratorium and also because of money more money deposited in the bank. So the real impact for the banking system we might see after the moratorium, because within this 6 months, we might not see the NPL, and also after the 6 months, there's new round of moratorium, and also Bank Negara encourage bank to do R&R, rescheduling and restructuring. So after that, we might see there's a default in the case. We might see there's customer cannot pay his loan, his commitment to the bank. So basically, for the bank, is huge impacted by the COVID. So the takaful. So in the context of takaful, also we might see this is example from Syarikat Takaful Malaysia. So Takaful Malaysia, on the current year's prospect, Syarikat Takaful Malaysia said the COVID-19 pandemic and associated economic impact are posing some challenges and many uncertainties to the Malaysian economy and insurance and takaful in industry. Okay. Islamic stock market. Okay, interestingly, if we look at the Islamic stock market, even though at the beginning of the COVID in Malaysia, especially in the March, the Malaysian stock market have because of capital, the investor, the outside investor, take the capital, move from Malaysia. So we look at the benchmark of Malaysia is in the index. The Malaysian stock index is in the loss position. But later on, when maybe last month, we looked at because of the retail investor come and fill the gap. When the foreign fund retreat from the several stock market, then the retail investor to buy into the COVID-linked stock, such as rubber glove market, and they make lot of money. Okay, in the stock market, basically we might say that Alhamdulillah, in Islamic stock market, Malaysia, they perform well with the help of retail investor. And some analysts said that because of the moratorium, lot of people have enough money to invest in the stock market, because this payment holiday 6 months, they have enough fund. Instead of pay to the bank for their loan, for their financing, they go to the stock market, they buy company share, then Alhamdulillah, they make lot of money. Okay. So impact of COVID on Islamic financial market to the sukuk or fixed income market. And also, even though the COVID-19 is negatively impact the financial market, but for sukuk market, especially in the context of Malaysia, or fixed income market, this pandemic give an opportunity to the company, to the institution, to the government to issue more sukuk. Because sukuk is compared to the financing with the bank, sukuk is cheaper. So when sukuk is cheaper, during this time of COVID-19, during this time of pandemic, people will always look at the financing method that is cheap, so they can manage their financial position. So they go to the sukuk. So we can expect that during this COVID-19, weathering this COVID-19 with more sukuk will be issued, and also last month government issue new sukuk, which is sukuk prihatin. So this sukuk prihatin basically the purpose of the sukuk prihatin to help the government and also to help the society. That's why lah, if you look at the sukuk prihatin issue the government of Malaysia last month, so the features of the sukuk very focused on the charity, for the purpose of charity, where your profit, you have the option to sedekah your profit. Okay, the impact on zakat collection and distribution. In terms of zakat, why I put zakat? Because zakat for me like indicator. If your economy is good, and then the zakat collection is very good. But if your economy in trouble, you can expect that the zakat collection will be affected. Okay, that's why lah I put here Selangor state as example, because in Malaysia, Selangor is among the richest state. So Zakat Selangor mentioned that the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic could see at least 10,000 more families in the state falling under the category of asnaf, which is those eligible to receive assistance from zakat. So based on the expectation of zakat Selangor, they expect that this COVID-19 pandemic will add more people to become asnaf. At least 10,000 people to become asnaf. So this is indicator that more people become poor and needy. Okay, we look at this effect on COVID-19 on companies and business firm. Okay, this is summary of finding based on Department of Statistics of Malaysia. You can see the company, how long company can survive this COVID, how many months they can survive, how many company will not survive. So this is the survey from the Department of Statistics Malaysia. Explain the impact and the effect of the COVID-19 on the Malaysian companies and businesses. Okay, if you look at the estimated duration companies business firm to recover, some company, nearly 2% of the company will not recover. Basically, you can expect 2% of the total company in Malaysia will go bankrupt. Okay, this is some will need more time to recover, from the 2 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months, and also 6 months and above. Okay, and also mentioned in the slides about the package, stimulus package by the government. The government of Malaysia already introduced stimulus package. Last time we have Prihatin package, and also we have Penjana package. A lot of money, billion of money be poured to our economy, to the SME, to the business, to ensure they are stay in the financial system. Even though you don't have your business is suffer right now, but for the government, at least the policy of the government, at least you can stay alive until the situation of the pandemic recover, when they have the vaccine for the pandemic, and slowly you will recover. So this is a lot of package being introduced by the government of Malaysia to the business and also to the individuals. Okay, we look at what is the post-COVID-19. The post-COVID-19 doesn't mean that we already passed the difficulty of the COVID-19. The COVID-19 is already there. Countries like US, like India, and many other countries still facing the COVID-19. A lot of fatality there. Still the cases rising there. But for the Malaysia, at least Malaysia can take break. At least Malaysia, the situation of Malaysia is better, might be better compared to the some of the countries. So for Malaysian, what we can do to weather this COVID? What is the new Islamic financial system that can further strengthen the financial inclusion? As I mentioned just now, that being Islamic finance, you must promote financial exclusion. Financial exclusion is part of your DNA. Okay, so what Islamic finance can do to further strengthen Islamic financial exclusion? So first, maybe the financial we can expect from the government, robust finance, fiscal monetary policy by the government, more stimulus package for microfinance, for SME, and also we can expect the tax incentive by the government, because if we look at this finding, there are, it's mentioned here, there are two main assistance needed, which is finance or subsidies, and also the tax reduction. So in terms of tax reduction, it play an important role in helping the company, and also in the context of Islamic financial exclusion. It can help underserved person, it can help unbanked person, poor and needy, to weather this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, and also strengthening the risk sharing financing instrument like mudarabah, musyarakah, wakalah, private equity, and venture capital, and also crowdfunding. Later, I will discuss what is the crowdfunding, how the crowdfunding can help the poor and needy in their business, can have access to the financial system. Okay, strengthening fintech. Okay, fintech, if you look at fintech is cost saving, because when you use fintech, can save you a lot. Save compared to you go to the banking system, you go to the other method. So fintech can offer you a low service cost, little or no collateral. One of the most constraint to the person is especially a poor and needy or unbanked person is collateral, because the bank, the framework of the bank is based on risk. Bank can give fund, give financing, give loan to the person that low risk, or have collateral that's strong enough. If anything happen, it can cushion the impact. So for person that don't have collateral, so it suffer. That's why we need a financial inclusion. So fintech can help we achieve the financial solution by lowering the service cost, and also by looking at the financing where we not need to have collateral, or the collateral is enough to give comfort to the lender. But better customer experience, efficient cash management. Okay, this is fintech. Maybe we can say that this is hikmah between hikmah from the COVID. Maybe also some say that the COVID is the reset button. With the COVID is reset button, the way we need to reset the way we doing our thing. Our financial system, especially our social system or our all system, when the COVID-19 comes, so we have to adjust ourselves to the new reality in front of us. New law and regulation, distribution and channeling avenue, and also digital finance. Okay, this is some of the services and instruments that we might look in order to help the underserved people, the poor and needy people, to have access to the financial system. Okay, the first, this is crowdfunding. Okay, crowdfunding is many types of crowdfunding. We have equity crowdfunding, real estate crowdfunding, reward-based crowdfunding, and donation crowdfunding. Okay, so this crowdfunding is very helpful to the society, especially to the unbanked people, underserved society, because not need to have the collateral, or at least in terms of what we call the credit checking and all the process that they need to go to the bank. With this crowdfunding, they not need to go through the process, and also this crowdfunding in terms of the cost is very cheap method of financing. Okay, one of the most popular crowdfunding is equity crowdfunding. Okay, equity crowdfunding in terms of is concept very similar to the stock, very similar to the share, where the investor, the rich people have money, registered, the project be registered with the SC by the platform operator, setting up the platform, the system, and admission of locally incorporated company, and investor accept the platform. So if you as investor, you can access the platform and you can invest your money to this type of investment. And also for the unbanked people or underserved people, so using this crowdfunding, it helps them a lot. Like I say, in terms of cost, in terms of many other things that they can escape if they go to if they use equity crowdfunding compared to if they go to the bank. Okay, the second one is P2P fundraising. Okay, P2P fundraising compared to the crowdfunding, fundraising is like giving financing or giving a loan. So in terms of relationship, very similar to the relationship between the customer and the bank, where bank will give financing to the customer or give loan to the customer. So the P2P fundraising is quite similar on that context, except that this P2P, it will not need all the regulation, all the thing that you must have passed through when you go to the bank. So like very not so difficult if you want to get financing to PTP fundraising concept compared to you go to the bank. So using this P2P, it will help a lot, especially in the context of financial exclusion. Many people that don't have access to the banking system, they can have financing, they can get funding using this P2P method. And also equity financing, financing venture capital of private equity. Okay, this is also help a lot to the person that need financing. Okay, social banking or social services. Okay, the term of social banking is things that refer to the institution that cater the need of the underserved people. So if the customer, if they go to the bank, this application, the business proposal can be simply rejected. Simply because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the thing that bank need in order to get financing. So with the social bank, many of the things that require by the traditional bank, that not be required by the social bank. In Malaysia, we don't have yet the social bank. But I think the best example of the social bank is Grameen Bank, Bangladesh. So it serves people, especially poor and needy. Okay, also in Malaysia, Alhamdulillah, we have social financing. Social financing in Malaysia, we have Tekun, the institution that really help the underserved, unbanked people, Amanah Ikhtiar, MARA, and other institutions that really can help more people to have access to the financial system. Okay, investment account platform. Investment account platform is another method that we can use. Okay, basically in the using investment account platform, bank as an intermediary. Simply bank as a platform that can facilitate between the financing between the investor and the customer. Compared to traditional financing by the bank is like owner of the fund. So bank give his asset to the customer. But using IFP, bank not the owner of the fund, but bank only as the platform to facilitate A and B. A is the investor, B is the customer. So A go to the bank, put their money, and bank will do all the things in terms of, like we say, checking, in terms of all the administrative related to this financing be done by the bank. So bank only as a gateway, only a gate between the investor and the customer. Okay, so it is help a lot. And also for the bank point of view, is bank will not put the risk of the bank is very low because it's not the money of the bank, it's the money of the investor. Bank only charge some percent as a fee, but in terms of the risk, bank can simply put the risk, transfer the risk 100% to the investor. Okay, this can help a lot because by this method of financing, it's cheaper compared to the traditional bank, and also can give more return. That's why in the context of Islamic investment account platform, in terms of return is higher compared to the return that being offered by the bank. But bear in mind that this investment account platform also give higher risk compared to the traditional investment with the bank. Okay, another type of financing or product and services that we can explore this to weather this COVID-19 pandemic is interest scheme funding. Okay, interest scheme funding, where one company issue interest scheme. Say for example, company A. Company A say company A have the opportunity in have good business, but don't have money. So the company act as wakil. Or in the context of ICT zone venture, this example of interest scheme that very successful in this country, in Malaysia, is ICT zone venture, and they use the kind of mudarabah, where ICT as a moderate take money from the public and then invest money in the rental of office muaddat or the office equipment like the printer, like computer and others to the company. Okay, so to the third party. Okay, fintech services. Like I mentioned before that fintech is very good tool that can help people to be more access to the system compared to the traditional banking system that require many things, require collateral and everything. But in the fintech services, you can bypass all those things.
My
Okay,
apologies.
value-based intimidation.
Time is up for your presentation.
Okay, I think that's the last is value-based intimidation, where bank can focus more on the value-based financing, give financing to the community and environment. It will help a lot in achieving better financial inclusion in Malaysia. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah, for your speech about the impact and opportunities of Islamic financial inclusion. And last, we will hear the presentation of Professor Dr. Serawut Ari from Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. He will speak about silent halal industries, opportunities and challenges in the post-COVID-19. Now I will turn the floor for you. My apology, Mr. Serawut Ari. Your microphone is mute.
Hello. Can you hear my voice?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Honorable Director of the Islamic State Islamic University, Sultan Hasanuddin Benten. Respected all the speakers, the participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Nihayatun Mashkura, the Dean Faculty of Economics and Islamic Business, State Islamic UIN Benten, for inviting me to join this very important international webinar on the challenges of post-COVID Islamic financial inclusion in Southeast Asia. I would like to thank all the organizers, especially Dr. Ifi, for their contribution, for their dedication, and for their hard work in organizing this very important event. And I would like to open my screen first. Okay. As you see on the screen, my presentation is about Thailand halal industries, opportunities and challenge in the post-COVID-19. In fact, the halal industry is of very important to the Muslim society in Thailand, as it gives us a sense of security that whatever we consume, whatever we use, or whatever we purchase is Sharia compliant, especially when we are living in the non-Muslim country. Simultaneously, the halal industry also contributes to our societal development and our national economic growth. So based on this very important fact, I would like to deliver or to talk on 3 topics. And I will not use much time. I will try to finish it as soon as possible. And the first point that I'm going to talk about is on the global halal market and the potential of Thailand halal industries. The second topic that I'm going to talk about is on the factors contributing to the progress of halal affairs in Thailand. And of course, the last topic that I'm going to talk is about Thailand halal industries and the COVID-19. So first, let me quickly showing the overview of the global halal industry. I have taken this information from the World Halal Forum of 2017 or 2018. The data indicates that the global halal was valued at 1.6 trillion US dollar in 2018 and is anticipated to grow at an annual growth rate of 11% to reach 2.9 trillion US dollar by 2024. So halal industry is quite a big market in the world. In fact, the Muslim population nowadays also is increasing. At present, we have 1.8 billion Muslim population around the world, and it is expected to increase into 2 billion within 2 or 3 years or for 5 years. Actually, this is the economic potential of halal The global halal food market is estimated to 2.3 to 2.8 trillion US dollar. Food and beverage alone have the total of 1.4 trillion US dollar. But the halal industry has now expanded well beyond the food sector. There is also medical and pharmaceutical. There is also the cosmetics, personal care, and there are also some others. You see, this is the untapped potential for halal industry. As you can see from the screen, approximately 89% of available global agri-food products are those of non-pork, non-alcoholic, which are ready to be transformed to naturally halal or Muslim-friendly products. In the meantime, halal certified products are popularized among non-Muslim consumers worldwide, which finally make halal fits to the concept of halal for all, not halal for Muslim, not only for the Muslim, but it is halal for all. And Thailand now, we are trying to promote this concept. And this is the who are the biggest suppliers and exporters of halal certified product. And this is halal, global halal target market. As you can see from the PowerPoint, is that in Asia, we have more than 1.1 billion consumers. In Africa, we have over 470 million consumers. In Europe, we have more than 50 million consumers. In Americas and also in Oceania. This is the Thailand halal industry and strategy. Thailand is not a Muslim country, as you know, but we produce great amount of quality halal foods for Muslims. We have a Muslim population in Thailand, approximately is about 5 million. As a major agri-food producing country, Thailand aims to be halal kitchen of the world. Halal products contributed to 20% of our country's agri-food exports. And that is why, you know, the halal industry and halal business is very important for our country. I'm going to talk about my second topic. It is about the factors contributing to the progress of halal affairs in Thailand. This is the first factors that contribute to our progress in halal industries. It is about the cooperation between Muslims and non-Muslims entrepreneurs. You see, in 2001, Thailand exported halal food products through 57 Muslim countries worth $347 million US. But in 2018, the value of its exports reached 6.1 billion US dollar, which was the largest growth among the all food exports of the country. The benefit flow directly through Thai entrepreneurs and indirectly to the Thai government in the form of tax revenues. So currently, there are more than 4,000 factories that have applied for halal logo from the Central Islamic Committee of Thailand, and more than 100,000 products receive halal certification. The majority of the entrepreneurs are non-Muslims, but they are important players in driving the progress of Thailand halal standards and certification, leading Thailand as one of the world's major exporters of halal food. Thus, the successive Thai government have been highly committed and devoted to develop halal industry in order to gain confidence from the global consumers. And this is the second factors contributing to our success or progress of halal industry in Thailand. It is about the right to be certified by one religious authority. Thailand is one of the countries that facilitates and promotes Islamic affairs in order to allow Muslims to manage their own religious affairs. This resulted in the enactment of regulations and laws governing Muslims in Thailand, namely the Islamic Organization Administration Act of 1997. This act gave authority of halal certification to the Central Islamic Committee in Thailand. Therefore, halal affairs in Thailand is operated by a single non-profit religious organization, which has the ultimate authority to certify halal products and issue a single halal logo. This makes halal certification in Thailand more reliable compared with many other countries. And the third factor that contributes to our success in halal industry is about the separation between certification and accreditation body. To gain consumer trust and acceptance worldwide, halal standards and quality assurance accredited by religious organizations are considered as the most important criteria of success. For this reason, in 2003, the Thai government provided support for the establishment of a unified national certification body, and also established the Halal Standard Institute of Thailand under supervision of the Central Islamic Committee of Thailand in order to support the implementation of Halal Standard. The board of directors has been appointed, which consists of highly qualified Islamic experts, academics, and specialists in various fields to meet the objective of the institutes. Thus, the establishment of Halal Standard Institute of Thailand creates a balance of power between Halal accreditation body and Halal certification body as required by the international standard. Thus, the Islamic Committee of Thailand is considered to be HAB or Halal Halal accreditation body, and the Halal Standard Institute of Thailand is considered to be HCB or Halal certification body. The fourth factors that contribute to our progress in halal business and industry is about religious certified halal side supports strategy.
Hello. My apology. Dr. Sarawat Ari. I think Dr. Sarawat Ari is still loading. Okay, I think Dr. Sarawat Ari close from this seminar. Okay, to wait Dr. Sarawat Ari, maybe I will start to discussion session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we will continue with discussion via chat. We have about 30 minutes to discussion. I will read and deliver your question to the speakers. Okay. From the chat room that I have read, I summarized and noticed some questions. Okay. First, for Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkuroh, the question is, in your opinion, what are the prospects for the Syariah financial industry after the COVID-19 pandemic? What the strategic factors will play a role? Okay, this question for Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkuroh. I would like to invite Dr. Hajah Nihayatul Mashkuroh to respond this question.
Terima kasih, saudara moderator. Baik, pendapat saya bahwa ke depan industri keuangan, inklusi keuangan syariah ini untuk pelaku UMKM sebagaimana yang sudah dijelaskan tadi itu optimis ya, dengan strategi-strategi yang dilakukan oleh Komite Nasional Keuangan Ekonomi Syariah, program-programnya kita harus optimis ya, bahwa strategi-strategi yang dilakukan oleh KNIKS itu khususnya dan Kementerian Keuangan atau pemerintah itu sudah jelas bahwa ke depan akan ada peningkatan instruksi keuangan syariah bagi pelaku UMKM dalam bidang yang pertama dalam bidang Islamic Digital Finance. Seperti semuanya terintegrasi di dalam Islamic Digital Finance ini. Kemudian baik yang lembaga pemerintah, ya khususnya yang sudah ditetapkan oleh OJK, baik OJK di bidang perbankan maupun di bidang non perbankan atau industri keuangan non bank, secara terintegrasi baik keuangan syariah maupun dalam e-commerce-nya. Kemudian yang kedua, kolaborasi antara inklusi keuangan syariah dengan inklusi keuangan yang lainnya, seperti misalnya dengan industri kanan, bank syariah, pegadaian syariah, fintech syariah, LAJ maupun dengan badan wakaf. Kemudian memberikan layanan keuangan syariah kepada masyarakat, ya baik simpanan, kemudian transaksi, pembiayaan komersial, pembiayaan sosial, maupun pelayanan jiswaf. Kemudian yang ketiga strateginya adalah dengan memberikan sosialisasi, literasi, dan edukasi keuangan syariah untuk pelaku UMKM. Implementasinya dalam bentuk misalnya dukungan terhadap infrastruktur, misalnya SDM, baik di perguruan tinggi, pesantren, dan institusi pendidikan lainnya. Kemudian lewat jaringan-jaringan organisasi masyarakat, komunitas, dan LSM. Kemudian pendanaan dana desa, sebagaimana yang saya sudah jelaskan tadi, bahwa lewat misalnya Badan Wakaf, lewat BMD, Baznas Multifinance Desa, dan dari wakaf itu adalah seperti cash wakaf atau wakaf produktif. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah support sistem kebijakan dan regulasi. Dengan adanya program-program peningkatan yang sudah dicanangkan oleh pemerintah lewat Kementerian Keuangan dan lewat KNIKS serta lewat OJK, saya merasa optimis bahwa walaupun keadaan pandemik sekarang ini, ke depan akan lebih baik dan bisa diatasi. Itu yang bisa saya sampaikan. Soliah, mudah-mudahan jawabannya bisa dipahami dan dimengerti. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Haja Nihayatul Mashkuroh, for your response. Next, the question for Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah. The question is, it is interested that you promote the alternative financial inclusion for post-COVID-19, such as crowdfunding, P2P, and social banking. How to support these alternatives into a formal policy by the authority or government facing the mainstream banking industries, and how strong these alternatives will be supported by the society, considering that all of us are affected by pandemic. I will give a time for Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah to respond this question.
Okay, thank you, moderator, for the question. It is very good question about how we can infuse the Islamic financial inclusion in our financial system. Okay, basically in Malaysia, Alhamdulillah, we have the regulator that very supportive in terms of promoting this financial inclusion. Like for example, Security Commission, the SC, the regulator for capital market, where last year is announced 8 new license for equity crowdfunding, funding, and P2P lending. So out of this 8, we have 3 license for crowdfunding, funding, and also 5. The rest is for P2P. And also in context of banking, we agree that banking still a mainstream industry in our financial market. And if you look at the funding percentage of the funding, the banking still finance around 60% of the total amount required by the customer. So still the banks hold the position of giving financing to the needy. But if you look at the bank, how they promote the banking system, how they promote this financial exclusion, and at the same time, still they have the traditional banking system where they put some allocation. So the traditional system is still continue because this is a backbone of the financial system in the market in the Malaysia. But at the same time, they promote this social banking. Say, for example, in Malaysia, we have Bank Islam. Okay, Bank Islam, they have Sadaqah House. So Sadaqah House act as crowdfunding center, where when somebody want to contribute something, so they can go to Bank Islam and put something as the contribution. So Bank Islam will use this money and then we'll channel it to the where is to play to poor needy in some states. Okay, this is in terms of promotion. So this is the bank still have the traditional way of doing business, which is the traditional financing. But at the same time, they also promote the financial inclusion in their product. But it is only for selected individual or for selected person. Okay, for the second question, how we can convince people to engage. So basically, when we want to promote and we want to convince people, especially for the poor and needy, we have to bring them, we have to get them into the system. Because they is poor and underserved people. So when it's poor, this is create a barrier. So this is a task of the government, task of the institution to maybe hold seminar or give financial literacy classes to them, where the bank or the government need to go to the bank. The bank or the government cannot wait for them to come to the bank and ask for financing. No, because it's in their situation, it's very long time. So they're not exposed to the financial market. They are not exposed to what the financial market can offer to them. So it must be a proactive action from the government to go to them and to promote to them directly what is the benefit of the system of this financial inclusion and how it can help them, how it can empower them in facing the changing of reality and also in facing the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah, for your response. I think Dr. Srawut Ari has joined in this Zoom. Could you continue your presentation now? Dr. Srawut Ari.
Yes. Actually, I already completed my presentation, so I'm really sorry for the problems of the Wi-Fi problems in the hotel, because I'm outside of Bangkok nowadays. So very sorry for that, and I will be very appreciated if anyone have questions.
Okay. Okay,
or,
thank you.
or giving more information on my topic. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Dr. Srawut Ari. We'll continue the discussion. The next question for Dr. Siti Hadijah. Okay, the question is, from your presentation, it can be summarized that the restructuration and credit payment moratorium is harmful for financial institutions. If these policies are taken, does it mean possibly causes a high cost financial transaction? So, what is the step to do for financial institutions in facing a high risk and high cost economy? I will give a time for Dr. Siti Hadijah to respond this question.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator, for giving me that question. I'd like to respond a bit on that. Okay, I'm not the expert in banking actually, but I'll try my best. Okay. All right. First and foremost, we have to admit the fact that the impact of COVID-19 is not just the bank. It also impacted the rest of the population. Okay. And when we talk about the impact to the bank, okay, yes, of course, for the bank to recover, there is possibility for the bank to charge a higher cost of financing, to the customers. But we also have to remember that here the bank is not operating in silo. The bank is competing with the rest of the banks, okay, particularly the Islamic banks. So for the bank to charge higher than the other banks is in fact a setback to the bank itself, because bank has to compete and to give the best pricing to the customers. So I guess for the bank to charge much higher from the rest of the bank is not possible. Bank will always try the best to charge a competitive pricing to the customers. And as I said just now, it's not just the bank which is in fact impacted by the COVID-19. Okay, and therefore we need to have what we call as concerted effort by the rest of the segments in society, from the government, from the household, from the firm itself, okay, in order to combat or in order to battle the impact of COVID-19. Okay, so here the government, for example, as what had been presented by my fellow friend from OPSI just now, Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah, there are already many facilities in place, apart from the stimulus package by the government, in order to what you call it, to get ourselves out of the adverse impact of COVID-19. The government had spent about 280 million ringgit in total, as a stimulus package to be given to all that are impacted, particularly the small and medium enterprises, and also the people, for the people to spend. And another step here, perhaps, that could be taken is by the other financial institutions. We have, for example, Zakat institution. We also have Waqaf institution. Okay, and as what Dr. Ahmad had mentioned just now, we also have crowdfunding. All this should play a role, okay, together, in battling the impact of COVID-19, and hopefully, with the concerted effort by all segments of the society, the government, the household, the other financial institutions, the bank, hopefully, inshallah, in the future, we could recover. Well, it might not take months. Yeah, it could take years, but inshallah, yeah, we will soon recover from this adverse effect of COVID-19. I guess that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Siti Hadijah. And next, the question for Professor Dr. Sarawut Ari. The question is, in your presentation, you delivered positive information that pandemic potentially increases people awareness to consume halal and hygienic product. Yes, it was true. In the case of Indonesia, even though most people stay at home, the demand of consumption tended to increase during the pandemic. But on the other hand, we knew that stock exchanges in most countries were facing a bad situation during a pandemic. Considering your optimism for halal industry and our discussion on financial inclusion, is there any recommendation to promote and drive the global investor to invest in halal industry in Southeast Asia?
So that is a very, very good questions. And I think because, you know, the limitation of the world in the post-COVID-19, one thing that is very important is that we face a lot problem of exporting halal products to outside world. So Thailand also facing this problem, and I think the whole of Southeast Asia also facing this problem. Now in Thailand, we're trying to promote halal business through, you know, through online system or e-commerce system, and that is a very good way, you know, to start to doing the business on this particular platform. And I think one of very important things that going to promote the halal business and industry is for Southeast Asian countries to work together, because actually we are the Islamic Ummah, and we are close to each other. So that is why I think we have to promote of working with each other on halal issue and business. And also, I think we have to try to promote this business through the ASEAN nation, and that is my answer, please. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarawut Ari, for your response. Maybe it is the last question for Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah. Okay, the question is from Mr. Zain Ibrahim, UIN Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin Banten. COVID-19 give us many opportunities to rebuild financial system. This is question for Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah. What's your point of view about the idea of single currency for ASEAN countries? Thanks for answering. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the question, moderator. Okay, in terms of the single currency, I think there is some constraint when we have the single currency, because the currency is based on the hello. Because the currency is based on the economy, based on the situation of economy of certain country. So if, say, for example, in Malaysia, why Malaysia have RM, then what is the currency rate for Malaysia compared to the Indonesia, compared to the others? Okay, this is, we see that in terms of currency is represent the economic situation of the country. If your currency is strong, meaning to say that your currency is strong. That is the situation. And if we have can have the single currency in terms of the benefit of have single currency, I cannot see what is the benefit of a single currency, because the currency itself represent the country, represent the economy of the country. So maybe the economic situation of the Malaysia is different compared to the economic situation of Indonesia. Okay. Maybe the single currency is the thing that we need to look again. That's the good effort to have the single currency, or is not that not that encouraged to have single currency in our modern economic system. We agree that at some point the single currency is good. Like for example, last time during the time of Caliph, we have the single currency which is based on gold and silver. But when this time comes, the more complex financial system is there. The situation of one place is different compared to the situation of others. So I think this my view, the single currency is the thing that we should look carefully. That is there either is good have a single currency, or each country have their own currency that represent their economy. Okay, I think that's all for my response.
Okay, thank you very much for all speakers for attractive presentation and responding the question. It is the end of this session. I would like to thank all participants for your understanding that we didn't have the time to allow every participant to speak. I try to underline the main message of this webinar, that COVID-19 pandemic had resulted in the global economic crisis, not just financial crisis that the world communities used to face before. Economic crisis invites inflation, unemployment, recession, and many more economic hazards. Having many being locked down had boosted the use of fintech services. People are purchasing online, paying bills, and other transactions via online banking. Low-income households and small firms can benefit greatly from advance in mobile money, fintech services, and online banking, hence greater financial inclusion. We have strategy to increase Sharia financial inclusion by marketplace integration, social Sharia financial integration, community and institution education, and halal tourism places industries integration. Besides that, we have kind of alternative post-COVID Islamic financial inclusion instrument, equity crowdfunding, P2P fundraising, social banking services, etc. The pandemic potentially increases people awareness to consume halal and hygienic products. The post-pandemic world will continue to offer great opportunities in halal product and foods, especially due to food security. This product undergoes strict process determined by national law as well as major national and international rules concerning halal and product safety. Okay, thank you very much for spending so much time explaining and listening the material of this international webinar. For your information, we will give the certificate after this to your email. Once more, I remember you to fill out the attendance link that we have shared in the chat room. Thanks for your attention. And the last, for all speakers and participants, please turn on the video. We will take a picture together. Okay? Turn on the video. We will take
Silakan bagi seluruh peserta untuk mengaktifkan videonya. Bentar saya ke itu. Pak Ubed.
Oke, Hafid.
Belum, masih ada yang belum aktif kan?
Oke, please
Ibu
open
Dr.
your
Siti
video.
Khadijah.
Oke. Mr. Hafid, I count.
Bapak Dr. Evi Syarifuddin.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready, Mr. Hafid? To take a picture?
Masih ada beberapa Bu yang belum aktif kan?
Oke.
Pak Evi Syarifuddin, videonya belum kelihatan.
Okay, Mr. Hafid, I think it's okay. Can we start to take a picture now? Okay.
Okay.
1,
2,
2, 3. Okay, and then the page 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and page 3. 1, 2, 3. Page 4. 1, 2, 3. Page 5. 1, 2, 3. And the last. 1, 2, 3. Okay, finish, Mr. Hafid.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Ms. Bulan.
Okay. Okay, thanks for your attention. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr. Sarawut
Thank
Ari.
you, Prof. Sarawut, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Pak Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah, Ibu Dr. Siti
Terima kasih
Khadijah.
semua.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bu Siti Khadijah.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmad Zakirullah.
Terima kasih semua. Salam.
Dr. Khadijah, waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dr. Sarawut Ari, thank you very much.
Bulan, terima kasih Bu Bulan.
Sama-sama Pak Hafid, kasih juga.
Ya, alhamdulillah sudah berjalan dengan lancar. Terima kasih Bu Dekan.
Terima kasih semua pihak yang sudah
Semua
mensupport
pihak yang sudah mensupport,
acara
mendukung dan
ini.
membantu acara ini, Pak Evi,
Mohon
Bu
maaf
Hendrika.
apabila ada kekurangan.
Sampai ketemu di acara berikutnya, Febi, yaitu Stadium General Bu Bulan.
Ya.
Bu Bulan moderator lagi.
I think it's enough.
Oke. Pak Sep, mana Pak Sep, Dadan?
Ya, hadir Pak Hafid.
Oh, makasih banyak Pak Sep
Ya, sama-sama.
Terima kasih banyak.
atas pantauan Q&A-nya. Terus apa lagi nih?